In five, four, three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Moon Tea podcast. I forgot which episode that we're on, but
21, I think.
21?
I think
Not
so. This
that
is gonna be
anyone's
21.
great. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, the usual co-hosts are here, and today we're joined by another Jon. Jon, do you want to introduce yourself, or do you want Hugh to do it?
Oh, I'll get it. I'll do a quick intro for
Okay.
Jon. So Jon Gonzalez, he's one of my closest friends. He is so great to have come on the show. He is a aspiring and continually getting better as a data scientist, knowing his SQL and Python. And then on his free time, he does a lot of other extracurriculars. He's really one of my best and closest, yes, I'm down to do and try new things. So I'm really excited where this convo will go.
Yeah, for sure. This is exciting. I mean, being on the podcast that I've been watching for a while is super awesome. First time being on a podcast, so I guess one of those like first time asking a question, but long time listener kind of thing. First time being inside of Hugh's house too, so this is awesome.
Wow,
it's a great place. Yeah, this is awesome.
This is how you get invited to Hugh's house. You could show up as a guest on the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're one of our first, if not our first commenter. He's Rezer, so on episode 1 or 2. Rezer's one of our first ever commenters. Hey.
Oh, amazing. It's an honor.
Yeah.
What,
it is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's all mine.
Out of the episodes that you've seen, which ones did you really like?
Put me on the spot. Honestly, I really enjoyed the first one because it was kind of I guess it was awesome seeing new things. And so you guys went into it without how do I say this? Kind of just going into it, guns blazing, do it all. Let's think about what we want to do in the future. And then seeing the reason I like that one so much is because I saw the newness, the trying to find things to come up with, and just seeing how everything will go and being excited about it. I love that energy that you guys brought into that first episode. And so from then on, seeing the growth over time, bringing different people in. I recently heard one from you guys from the Amazon guy who's trying to get Amazon things to sell and things to sell on Amazon, and just overall, it's been awesome seeing you guys grow. So I'd say the first one was my favorite because I've seen the progression.
Wow, it's an honor. Jon has actually seen more than one episode. Wow. Well, congrats. People are gonna say the same thing about this episode and about whatever we talk about today. So we're making history as we know it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So I have a question for Jon.
Okay.
Jon Gonzalez, how is your time in the professional world growing as a data scientist? Tell us a bit about your story, what your background is, and what your aspirations are, how you're making it.
Okay. Let's see. So I used to work in accounts payable. Was accounting and just working with pricing. It was for a construction company. Just kind of working with numbers. I figured it'd be really easy to go into that from helping out my dad with his landscaping business. And so I'd help him out with invoices, went straight to that small business in construction. And then they were very lenient with me. They were very nice. They said, hey, do you want to go to school or do anything else? Like, feel free to take any time you need. And so I took advantage of that. Went to school, went for IT. That was kind of, I originally tried medical like long before that, but realized that I didn't like it as much. Anatomy was my like breaker, I guess, for me. And so I kind of just took a break from school, then came back and did IT, like I said. Really enjoyed it. It's always been around computers, always tried making some and everything. And yeah, I loved it. Went to school, everything was great. Actually got an internship, went to full-time. And then from there, I had an amazing manager. He I think his name was Frank Owen. Great guy, awesome guy. He got to know more about me and saw how I saw things. And so from there, he gave me different projects to work on. One of them was creating a database for all of our IT supplies, whether it be mouses, keyboards, computers, even just in general, just everything I could. So made the database, started figuring out ways to allocate everything. And then from there, we also had tickets, of course. Most jobs have ticketing systems. So he said, hey, you were really good at making the database and taking account of everything. Just see what you think about these tickets. Why are we getting so many? And so I kind of pulled them all, did some research, found out that a lot of our tickets were from new hires. New hires were just having tons of issues on the IT side of things. They would send in 10 requests for different, for a login issue or for access to things, or needed a different mouse, keyboard wasn't working, things like that. And so I realized that and gave that information to my manager and said, perfect, let's try to cut down on these tickets then. And so I set up for every new hire, there'd be like a initial IT contact with them, and then one at the end of their beginning week, and that cut down tickets by like 25% or something, just because we were hiring so much, it was so big, or even more. But yeah, I love that. And I very shortly after that, I let him know how awesome that felt and how great. And he said, you know what, you should go into data. You should go into data science and find ways to solve, or find solutions for some problems, pretty much similar to that. And so I said, you know what, awesome, I appreciate you. And I started looking for another job, actually, and I found another position at the time it was called UTC, and then it became Collins Aerospace, and so that's kind of what it's transitioned into while I was there. And then now it's called Raytheon Technology. So that's the company that I went to, but it just went through 3 different changes there. And that time I was mainly just working through Excel, I guess, data, not necessarily Python or SQL or anything. A little bit of SQL, but for the most part, it's just Excel, making macros, working. I guess it was very corporate, so lots of dashboards, lots of. My job was mainly just automating the dashboards, making sure everything worked out good, looking at data quickly, and getting a dashboard ready for other people to then just say, "Hey, with the click of a button, I'm going to get all the information I need out of this spreadsheet of data," using only Excel, because they were more corporate, a lot older, didn't have the newer stuff. And so over time, I met Hugh and other people who were like, you know what, you should continue pursuing this, keep going into data science. And I knew I needed to learn Python and SQL. And actually, I remember talking to you as well, John, about this exact same thing on when we went out in Gilbert. We just kind of sat down and you were like, hey, what do you do? Tell me about it. And so I talked to you. And as I was talking to you about it, then and there, I was like, yeah, I really got to start doing this. I got to start learning other languages. And so I found a job where I'm working now. It's called Oscar Health. They recently IPO'd, so pretty new. It's a health insurance company, and they said, hey, we'll teach you SQL and Python. So that was perfect for me. I got into it, been liking it ever since. I got in a weird time because due to COVID and such. I got in and they instantly said, hey, you're going to be working remote. You're going to be one of our first wave of people working remote. So any feedback you have, please let us know. Got my laptop, got to work on everything, had a weird orientation, but I've been liking it still. And I, became, had a great time, became somewhat of a lead. And then I asked to work more with Python. And so lately more just focused on that lately. And that's where I am now. What I want to do more is still continue working with data, different types. And I think I just need to work on my own projects. I think that's what people who have asked for advice have been telling me, Hugh as well, of course. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was a long-winded, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's super cool, because a lot of people, just for reference, we had Eugene on the podcast a few episodes ago, and he actually works in accounts payable right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I really like the route that you took, which is you found a way to get paid to learn,
Yeah.
and you would like selectively apply for jobs and interview for jobs and try to work on those skill sets that you're trying to get better at. So that is super cool. So it's like the less risky route of like working on your skill set and everything. So that's super cool that you are where you are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a journey, and it's not over. As I still have goals and realize that I do want to do more with data science, not just work with health insurance or just numbers and solving these problems for some businesses. I want to make a real impact in society, really. So I feel like data science is really the way to go with it. And there's so much data everywhere nowadays. We have it attached to us that other big businesses not take advantage, more just use it in different ways. And so yeah, I want to be able to do a lot with it, and I see a lot of benefits to it. And so that's my view of it, of everything with that. What about you guys? What do you guys feel about all the data stuff nowadays?
Oh, what do we do?
How do you guys feel about all the data that's available? Do you guys ever find it interesting? Like, I know there's one. So, when I was trying to get into data, I heard about like Amazon rainforest, where they put a bunch of Nokia phones all around the forest that would detect set frequencies of a chainsaw, because there was a completely different frequency compared to like all the animals out there, or random Amazon forest sounds. So anything that was an outlier, they would know, hey, this is people. They're people trying to cut down trees, and so that would instantly inform the response team, and then they would go and resolve the issue. So data can be used for multiple things, and so things like that have always been interesting to me. So I'm curious if you guys have heard of anything else or with these kind of what do you guys think can be done with data, I guess?
Ooh, big question. Hugh, you go first.
Man, I'm put on the spot. No, I think that I want to hear more about Jon's insights on the data. This is fantastic. So for me, I don't really have that many insights on data of tools or tech and how it's being utilized or deployed. I think that's really cool. No, I'm a designer. I need to learn more. That's why I'm so excited. Tell me more, Jon. I guess it goes to Jon Kim after, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm on the spot. Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I was like, I just kept talking.
That's great.
Yeah, maybe it could be a role to show us some of the cool ways that data is being used. I mean, Hugh and I probably read about it and we're just like, oh, neat, but we're not as deep on the data side of things, because I'm doing development and like fixing things and building things, and then Hugh is making things look awesome. And so we're on our respective paths. So yeah, maybe you can tell us about like what is being unlocked because of the amount of data that we have. And like,
yeah, I feel like even just the ability to live longer, I feel like has a lot to do with the data we have. So I mainly bring that up because of health insurance. I know based on that, they have used a lot of data to see where, okay, I should rephrase. So some stuff that my company looks at is why people are going to the doctor, and seeing how they can ensure that their issues kind of get resolved sooner before they even have to go. So just kind of incorporating data with health insurance in a way. And so it's just something as easy as like, hey, you haven't gone in this long to get a check. Let's get you in there. We got a meeting set up for you. And I think that's what my company does right now, is just kind of reaches out a lot more because they have all that information and they're willing to just go above and beyond for the customer. And so that's something that they do. On like a gaming side of things, because I really like video games, there's a lot of smart devices everywhere, whether it be smart fridges, smart chairs, even smart tons of devices. So pretty cool seeing where a person can go into like a go play video games anywhere really. So you can go to a cafe and that have specialized settings for you as a player. So keyboard with the already configured configurations that you want, mouse with the right sensitivity, chair that gets to your specifications, I guess, and just all that is pretty cool.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, it is. Smart chairs are a thing. I know you can configure keyboards and configuration with like Steam and.
Really? You're kidding?
No.
That's so cool. Like, so I can. They're gaming arcades. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is this in
Wait,
like
those-
in Japan or something? Or
they're called like PC bunks.
Yeah,
Is that-
yeah. There's.
Is that still?
I guess I call them just cyber cafes. I don't know the right term for them. But
Do they still exist? Because my impression was that was a lot more common when people didn't have powerful computers or like powerful like personal computers. But then now it seems like if you really want one, you can have one.
oh yeah,
guess,
for sure.
yeah.
I can only recently I had two friends who Thomas and Julie actually. I don't know if I'm supposed to make
You're
shout
fine.
outs. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
They went to a local cafe around here. And they said they loved it. And
Oh, well, you have one locally?
yeah, we have one locally, so we could check it out
We should
sometime.
totally.
And it's mainly just so if you have a PC, like a big PC, and you don't want to carry it around with you to go LAN, you could just go to one of these places, these cafes,
Ooh.
and you all just set up and play. They're clean, they're nice. There's snacks and drinks and all the best things that you want from a LAN, really. So you just go there and just start playing games. Plus, everything's readily available. You don't have to. I host some LAN, or our house hosts LAN sometimes, and everyone gets there and they have to download the game, which takes a while. Our internet isn't the best at times. Disconnections happen. Sometimes a mouse malfunctions, or some update came on and no one expected it. Now they're out for an hour while we're all playing games. That person's out. So that's kind of the benefit of going to a cafe. Even now, you just kind of go there and play games without having to worry about whether or not your computer is ready and or everyone else is also ready to play and stuff. Yeah, so that's always a cool thing.
Do you think it's more, is it a lucrative business in the States? Because I know in Japan and more Eastern Asian countries, there's a lot of, you can even sleep in those places, right? And you can stay there for really cheap if you want to travel. I hear that's a really good hack, or like the gaming cafes.
That's pretty cool, actually. I did not know that was a good hack.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then they have like open tops though, so you can hear everything. But you get like a dedicated PC. You have like a little couch, so people sleep on the couch. It's not really a bed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I YouTube rabbit holes showed me that one. Do the ones here have the data-driven settings, like user profile input?
They have it for the computer, not necessarily for like the chair. I think smart chairs are a lot newer, but I could see it being implemented pretty easily for people that would just be interested in just seeing it.
Blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if let's say again you have your own computer set up at home, you're already so used to a certain way of playing that when your friends ask you, hey, let's go to a cafe and play, and you go, it's just like you're at home, except you're right next to your friends in a way. But yeah, so to answer your question, I don't think they're as lucrative here, but they're still around. They're still around. Japan definitely has a lot more internationally, but yeah, they're cool ones. There's Howie's Game Shack in California. That one's big, and they just not only have computers but like regular video games like Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah,
I kind of want to find if there's like tiers to it. I want to find the best one and just travel there to visit it. That would be cool. Really cool. I bet it's luxurious. I'm sure, because there's so much. The gaming industry is getting pretty big these days, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
On a slight tangent from the professional side of things, Jon is one of the I really, really respect and appreciate Jon and our good friend Nick. They've been to, how they're like the NBA championships or the Super Bowl for football. There's a thing in DOTA for a video game called TI. It's called the International, and it's the championship every year. And Jon and Nick have made road trips to Seattle, and Jon, I just think it's so cool. I really want to go. I think DOTA is one of the coolest storylines, especially with OG. Hopefully, 4P? No, 3P. John's thinking about going to, where was it, Sweden this year or next year?
Yeah, it was originally going to be in
Whoa.
Sweden, which I wanted to go. I couldn't wait. I was excited. That's one of my like goals, or I've written down goals, and going to Sweden was one of them. But it was for last year. It got canceled, postponed to this year, and then this year it fully got canceled and got switched to going. It's going to be in Romania this year, and so that's
Wow.
kind of an idea
So is
where
your goal to go to Sweden or to go to the gaming tournament?
it was to go to Sweden. So unfortunate that it got canceled, but Romania is pretty awesome too. It's international. I haven't really, to be honest, guys, I've never been anywhere other than the States, really. Okay, I haven't been overseas, I should say. Yeah, I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, but yeah, I've never been overseas. So just wanted to go check it out. That's going to be soon too. It's in October, so if I want to go, I got to start buying tickets. It's on my mind. But yeah, like he said, I used to go to Seattle every year. We did it for like 6 or 7 years.
So cool.
Yeah, it's 6 years for sure, or 5. Yeah, but yeah, we just drive up, a bunch of us together, road trip
Wow.
from here to Seattle. I used to always say on my like dating profile, like questions, or I randomly ask you stuff. I would say like, oh yeah, I drive 24 hours up north to Seattle and 24 hours down to Mexico sometime, or like once a year, each of them. So yeah, a lot of
Wow.
road traveling. Yeah, it's been
Huh.
cool. It's been cool seeing all the different things, and along the way, the reason why I like traveling so much, or just road trips in general, is you get to get really close to people in the car, and also learn more about them, and know what they like, how they interact in different environments. And there's a lot of awesome hikes, which is something that I've been really into recently, and yeah, that learn a
In
lot about a
Seattle
new place.
or just
Yeah,
around?
all around. So you could go. So we'd always take the California route. So you go, one year we did the one freeway, so it's all the way down the coast, and did that one year. It took a while. Got to see some cool sights and everything, and do some hikes.
Oh, you did the
Uh,
PCH.
yeah, we did that. It was really fun. It was really nice.
I don't know anyone. I don't know any American who has done that. It's always like someone from Germany that's like, yeah, we went down the PCH, and I was like, you drove like 10 hours when you could
It's
have driven
long.
in like 6.
Same thing. We were just young. We were like wanting to experience as much as we could. We only had so many days, and so we just said, you know what, let's do it. Let's leave a little bit earlier, go to TI, and have a great time there. And so yeah, it was awesome. So you asked about hikes. I have done some in Seattle and Washington, but Oregon is where I've probably done the most, and just I don't know if I've done very few off trails in California for the most part. Yeah, but a lot in Arizona, of course. It's been great here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's super
But
cool.
yeah, I don't know if you
You
guys
like
like.
road trips a lot more than I do.
Yeah, you. Well, last time you were here, you self drove yourself to
Oh yeah, I
from
did.
California. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
must have been awesome in itself. I would love to be in that car to not have to worry about driving as much.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually wasn't so bad. I think it was like 4 hours
Yeah,
from LA.
yeah, around there.
Yeah, not
I
so
think
bad.
it's usually like 4 to 6, but yeah, for sure, it's it must have been going fast.
One time Hugh and I drove and then we met in the middle and then we went up
What?
to Big Bear
Oh, that's awesome. It must have been a great
and
trip.
we went camping up there. That was fun.
That's something I want to do. I want to go camping again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. We got to start going camping. We have a trip coming up too.
Dude, we really need to.
We
Oh
got to
no.
start camping. We got to start doing all that stuff. I've been hiking. I've been hiking a lot. Similar to, I wrote down like goals so me and
Ooh.
some friends. I wrote down goals 5 years ago. It's been 6 now. So 6 years ago, I wrote down a 5-year goal list, and I accomplished most of them. I wish I had
What
them
were
written
they?
down.
Go down the
Uh,
list.
I'd have to see the picture
That
for all of them.
that you're okay sharing
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
world.
The ones I remember were like, I wanted three to was it three? I hope I put down 2 to 4 houses. I put down I wanted, so the financial ones, or like, I don't know, money ones, I guess. I put down I wanted to own 2 to 4 houses. I think I wanted to make over $60,000. I put down that I wanted to travel to Sweden or Hawaii. which I haven't done. That's the one I couldn't do. I wanted to not be married, which people make fun of me for having that sometimes.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I wanted to finish school. I hadn't finished school at that point, and I really wanted to commit. And that was around the time where I made that transition too from accounts payable to IT, and then kept going. I know I had a couple other ones. I used to weigh 135 pounds, 140 at most. And so I wanted to gain weight at that time. So I'm pretty sure I had that on there where get to 160. Now I'm way above that. But
Congrats.
it was I know
exceeded your goals.
Exceeded, checked off, big check mark. Oh yeah, there are others. But just overall, there's goals like this, just small ones that at the time seemed so out of reach, and being able to accomplish a couple just felt great, awesome. Yeah, and again, there's one of those things where I wrote it down 5 years ago. Most people forget or just look back and think, oh, I didn't do these, or they changed so much. But writing them down really stuck in my mind and kept me going with them. And that's end of the day, that's probably what got me to accomplish most of them. So that felt great. So it was awesome. It was awesome for sure.
For me, making above 60K seems a lot more doable than buying 2 to 4 houses.
That's
so it's
crazy.
interesting that they're like on the same category.
Yeah. They're, again, I just wrote them down one night. It was well, I guess I had thought about them for a while, but yeah, I wrote them down. 60K at the time, because even before working, more professional environment, I worked at Quick Trip, local gas station around here, and I think I was making like $8.25 an hour, so not that much money. So getting up to 60K would just sounded so lucrative to me at the time. And yeah, again, I'm there, and I got to that point. I got past that. I got to the 2 houses as well, and just the traveling was really the main one I didn't get to do. So yeah, feels good. So that being said, lately I have to, I say 6 years, because when I accomplished my goals, or that date finally came and I looked at everything, I told myself, I'm going to make some new goals. I'm going to do it again. 5 years. Let's make some more. And I haven't done it. So it's been on my mind.
Ooh.
And yeah,
is this could this be the chance to think about your next 5-year goals?
Of course. As long as you guys have a goal with me as well.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Well, should we think of
well, how old are you, John?
I am 28.
28. Cool. I'm 29.
29. Awesome.
Yeah, so in 5 years you'll be 33. I'll be 34. He will be
32. 27.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough question. 5 years, so much changes.
It's so funny. I think it's just so impressive that you had friends who were that awesome in your life to do that with at the time, and also that you wrote them down and did them. I don't think I've ever had more than like a 6-month goal. Like, I don't know when or what it was. I don't think completing college was really a goal. It's just like I had to do it. I don't think. Yeah. Have you ever done a 5-year goal or anything, John?
Yeah, I have.
Nice.
Yeah, I accomplished all of them.
Any one or good ones?
Yeah, when I was 22 or 23, I was about to move to San Francisco, and I was starting a job on like January 5th or something, and then with a group of friends, we had a New Year's Eve celebration, and we're just like listening to music and stuff, and then I was like, I was just like grooving, and I was like, these are my goals for the next 5 years, and we're all like, yeah. But it wasn't as concise as the other Johns, but I was like, I want to travel a lot and have really cool experiences, um I want to be like financially in a much better place, or like a good place. It's like I want to date, not be married though, but what else?
Asterisk.
I know.
I don't think I wrote it down. I think I was just like monologuing it. But yeah, I mean in general, I think I like got to those goals in a way that I was like, sure, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, you're good. That's awesome.
Um,
Have you guys heard of The Buried Life? Much Buried Life?
the what?
It's The Buried Life is a MTV show that released a couple years ago. Four guys, they traveled around the United States, and they had like 100 items on their gold list, and they for each one they crossed off, they would help somebody cross a goal off their list. So they
Nice.
just it was really nice. It was really cool. That's what inspired me originally to make the goal list and kind of stick to goals. And although the show is very old now, and I still that still stays in my mind. I followed some of the guys from the show, and one guy, Ben Nempton, he now like goes around and does. He's a public speaker, inspires people, and
Wow.
his big thing right now is just telling people like, hey, if you want to, pursue your goals, and it's just you got to write them down first, get them out there and remember them, and it'll really. That stuck with me always. So yeah, sometimes write them down, and I feel like that's a pretty important thing, or a pretty cool thing to do as well. To look back on them years from now and feel like, wow, I did do this. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is very cool. For the two houses, do you live in one of them and do you rent out the other? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, rent out the other, live in one of them. That's exactly how it works.
And how long have you had them?
The first one, it was purchased, I think, July of 2019. Yeah, July 2019. Then a year later, or around March for 2020 was when the other one was bought. So
Ooh,
yeah,
good timing.
good timing right before COVID. It's really funny because roommate and I, we ended up purchasing everything that we needed for the house. So like we stocked up on toilet paper, soap, pasta, just all kinds of stuff that all sold out instantly. So we it was very funny to have all that ready for us, and everyone struggled. Well, I mean, it wasn't very funny. It was more just lucky for sure that we had
Hilarious.
everything.
Global pandemic.
Hilarious.
What a joke.
No, yeah. So it's been cool.
I was
all
like,
you really need is a down payment, man, and then you can get yourself a house.
funny story. I was watching a video of Tim Ferriss talking about like what he keeps in his house. And one of the things was like, he's like, yeah, I carry this like giant barrel of clean water. I have two of them. And I was just like, what a freak. Like, what an insane person carrying these like giant buckets of water in his house. And then I was like, oh yeah, he lives in Austin, and he just like in January or February, there was like all the pipes froze. I was like,
Whoa.
oh, I forgot. Okay, never mind. Like, I'm wrong to judge him. It was like pretty cool that happened. So I think if I have a house, I'll think about like what are some of the worst things that could happen, and then I'll prepare for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then on the topic of houses, I'm moving to New York City, so I think my rent will be. 엄마 좀 조용하게 좀 조용해 할 수 있어? 고마워.
Hi, Mrs. K.
So yeah, maybe I'm making the wrong choice, but yeah, I will not be purchasing property out there. Yeah.
expensive out there.
New York, it's a bit of a different game.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I were talking the other day because she's moving from Seattle to New York. And then we were just like, okay, if you take your salary and my salary, and then you, because Washington doesn't have an income tax, like,
Yeah.
and you add the New York plus New York State income tax, and you add the like how much more housing costs and how much shittier it is. Like, wow. Like, is it worth living in New York City for like this like 6-digit amount? Like, I don't know. Like, probably not. but we're not, like, the point of our life is not to maximize money. But I was like, man, so I was having second thoughts right there. But
Hey, it's New York. You're gonna do a lot of fun stuff. I went a long time ago as well, and one friend of ours, me and Nick, we had a friend. His name was Ferguson. He was staying in Colombia, and so we got to stay with him for a week, and we got to explore New York. It was my first time. It's pretty different than I expected. Food was delicious. I recommend going to Grace Papaya if you like hot dogs and just kind of. I really liked it. It was one of my more favorite places, I guess. And yeah, just I don't know, great things about New York. I remember a lot of great things, also some bad. So like the subway was not how I expected. Like in movies, it looks so clean, looks so nice. Really, it's a little dirty, a lot dirtier than I expected. Smelly
yeah, it's
at
gross.
times. Yeah, I bought the week pass for while I was there, so I didn't want to. Yeah, we didn't do the. I don't think Uber was a thing at the time, but yeah, I didn't do taxis or anything. It was mainly just all subway, and yeah, way different. But yeah, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could have a great time in Gilbert, Arizona too.
Come
That's
on
true.
here. This place way cooler. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of hot right now, but it gets way
It's
better.
okay.
Like 6
It's
months.
hot. It's hot in Los Angeles as well.
Yeah.
And New York City is also hot and humid. Kind of sucks in the summer, but
Yeah.
anyways,
I heard Oregon's crazy right now too, where they're like hitting 110 degrees or plus in Oregon of all places.
oh yeah. Pacific Northwest was quite hot. Oregon gets a little bit hotter than Seattle, but Seattle virtually almost never goes over 100. And then on whatever that Sunday was, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it hit 104, and then the Monday it hit 108, and like something like 60% of homes don't have AC. So yeah,
That sounds dreadful.
It was bad.
Oh my goodness. How do you not have? I was reading earlier about there's different types of architectures for homes, and they're kind of taking inspiration from Arizonian type architecture. But we don't have amazing ones in a lot of our suburbs, but there's this shading structure, and the type of material you can use for your walls can create better insulation. And so like plywoodish, woodish stuff is a bit better for heated environments. But it must be interesting in Oregon, where it's getting over 100 and you don't have AC. That blows my mind. And I'm sure that their architecture isn't built for staying cooler, so it must get way hotter. Goodness, being in a house, I wonder what the average temperature of houses. Let's sign data on that. What the average temperature of houses were in that stretch of time that didn't have AC. Probably 80 plus. That's pretty rough. I remember swimming in a pool. One of my best memories of swimming was in high school. I think it was like junior year. The cooler in the pool broke for the pool we swam in as a team. And I remember swimming in this pool, and it's probably 85 plus. And that's pretty hot for a pool. I'm a sweater, but when I swim, I don't really sweat, obviously. But I have never forgotten the feeling of feeling beads of sweat going down my face as I'm on the wall ready to do a next set. Wow. And I was like, this is really weird. Like really, really, really warm water, just not hot, not scalding, but like warm and uncomfortable, and then swimming and exercising. I was like, this is a weird combo. Never happened again. But that was a funny one. That was very funny.
That's weird that you have water coolers. I don't think we had that.
Yeah, no, I mean, an optimal swimming competition temperature for athletes is around 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So usually in Olympic type pools or regular pools that public people can go to, they usually have coolers, and they can get to that type of temp, which is cool.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of swimming, I still want to do.
Yes.
this
Oh, so
swim.
goal aspirations. Okay,
Yes.
let's hear it.
Let's get on
Yes.
it.
So
This is it. This is 5-year goal, or is this a 10-year?
This is probably a 5-year.
5-year. Here we have it.
Done. Because actually, since I've met you, I've talked to you about this.
We started training.
Yeah, so I'll try to talk about it as best as I can. So pretty much a couple years ago, got into podcasts. Joe Rogan was the main podcast I listened to.
Gateway drug.
Yeah,
Dreadful guy.
He had Peter Attia. He's a Canadian physician on his podcast, and before listening to him, I was like, it's awesome, it's great stuff, but I just wasn't as big into podcasts until I heard this guy. This guy got me really into podcasts and also into wanting to swim, because he does long distance swims, and he mainly talked about the Catalina Island to California shore swim that he did. He just talked about it, and he made it sound so amazing, where you're swimming in pitch black and only moonlight, and the whole what is it, there's microbes or something actually lights up in the water. I forgot what it was really, but yeah, as he's like swimming, he everything's lit up around him, and just the way he described it just sounded so amazing. And all the hard work and dedication that he put into it, and he said finally getting into land was the best feeling of his life that he hasn't experienced in any other way. And it's like a 20-mile swim.
Shit.
It's 20.2 miles.
Yeah, I was like, that takes like an hour on speedboat.
Yeah, it's a while. And yeah, that was one of those things where it was on my mind of like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to do it, but I never wrote it down. I never was like, I'm going to for sure do it. But over the years, I've been wanting to do it more and more. And meeting Hugh, he was found out he was a collegiate swimmer. And so I was like, you know what, Hugh, can you teach me how to swim better? Because I know how to swim. I even took classes as a really early on, but collegiate swimmer here, I was like, I need to know what I'm doing wrong. So we went to the pool, we went to EOS, and he taught me some stuff, and I felt great about it. And we kind of stopped going because of
Why did we stop going, John? Why did we stop going?
We stopped going because unfortunately someone broke into Hugh's locker and took all his stuff.
More like I forgot to lock the locker with all of our stuff.
Man.
The lock's there, and I just didn't close it.
Yeah, I was
like
that
an
friend.
idiot. I'm so sorry. I'm the one that did it, but John feels guilty about it.
Yeah, it's funny because
my fault.
I heard you talked about this on the podcast, and I was like, oh, that's me. That's me. He was like, a friend of mine wanted to learn how to swim. I was like, oh, that's me. For a shout out. So yeah, it's I pretty much felt terrible about it, and I never want to go back to that.
No, come back. Come back.
We'll go back.
Someone stole your guys' clothes.
Okay. Steal my credit card. Go spend $800 at Fry's and Walmart each. Fine, but please, if you ever listen, if you are the one that stole my Edinburgh Speedo, please give it back. Everything else, just take it. Just please. That's one of a kind. So sad.
I know.
Someone stole your Speedo.
I know.
Yeah.
The
I remember you
audacity.
ranting about it.
What a dreadful. I did. Oh no, I'm a broken record. I can't get past it. I'm emotionally stuck. This is a blocker in my life.
If I do this, complete the swim, I'm sure we can reach out to the school and just say, hey, I did this for these for them.
Wait, is this your way of convincing me to do Catalina with you so that I can get my Speedo back from Edinburgh?
Think about it. We did so much publicity. There's only been like a handful of people, no more than 200. I feel like. I think last time I checked, it was 120. I don't know how many more.
Dude,
But that
that's
was a while
swimming
ago.
a marathon.
Yeah, it's a
That's
lot.
wild, dude.
It's a lot, and
Like,
depending on the time, like the waves too, it could take longer.
and I did swim and water polo in high school, and I'm still saying that is wild, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what everybody tells me.
Yeah, I was
But-
like, I support it.
You
That's
got-
just really hard.
And there's
Yeah.
no like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna take a break on the wall.
No.
Or
Can you not? I think they have a boat. You have a boat that
Is there a
supports
boat?
you. Yes,
There
yeah,
is.
without a doubt.
I
And
just don't know if you can touch it or do anything with it.
I
think
oh,
it's
so there's
just-
rules to it.
I think it's just there. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's just there.
They throw you water and they give you electric, like you float in the water and you just kind of float and they feed you some electrolytes and stuff
Yeah.
too. That's how that's how I know of open water long distance swimming at least.
Yeah. So there's a whole thing. There's a
Wow.
website for it too. You can just sign up there. So I was like, okay, perfect.
Oh wait, there's a sign up. Let's sign you up.
Yeah, let's do it in a few years.
for like
Still.
for like 3
I
years
just-
from now.
Yeah, but it's definitely a big goal, and definitely want to get to it. But yeah, not right now.
I don't know.
Not ready right now.
I might. I don't know if I could be convinced. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I would be on the boat.
That's
But-
even you on the boat there, and it would be awesome. But having you in the water with me as well. Wow, that'd be a great trip.
Dude, if it was 2 miles, that would be great.
Just talk-
But you're adding another digit to that.
It's another 2. 22.2.
Dude, I used to
20.2,
swim 1
believe.
mile as a 30-minute workout.
Oh man,
And that's rough.
I don't know if I've done 1 mile swim. That's it at most, and that was when I was very young. I did a
Impressive.
triathlon.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was it. So
Oh, you did an Olympic?
Wait, unless it's a lot less. It was at school. It was in
I
middle
know.
school.
No, it's
so
awesome. Okay.
I don't. Maybe it wasn't an Olympic.
I think it
but-
would probably
I mean,
be
I
nice to swim a mile without flip turns. Like
Yeah.
a mile in a pool with flip turns is not that fun. You just spin a lot.
Yeah.
But a mile in open water under the moonlight
Right. It sounds amazing.
times 20.
Not only that, but we could even, we could even do more to it. So we'd have to be there for a while and get used to the water and everything, and kind of wait for the best time, most optimal time, and just go do it. It might actually be faster than we think if we wait for the perfect day.
I think I have a possibility. We need to, if you train for it. I once heard that there are ultra marathoners, right? People that do 50 to 100 plus miles. I once heard, and I don't know if this is a myth or not, at like halfway or 2/3 of the way through, some ultra marathoners will take 2 to 3 shots of vodka or some type of hard
Whoa,
alcohol.
I've heard this too.
Yeah. So I think my suggestion, take it or leave it, but I hear it's really good. At mile 14, chug a fifth.
So Peter Atia, he mainly said he threw up because of the like water that he wasn't used to, like swallowing it so much and all that stuff. So we could probably do it and just throw it up as we're going, maybe.
This sounds fantastic.
It'd be
Oh, man.
I would do it. I would do it.
I think
Just throw it up.
I think the problem is that Hugh and I know how painful swimming is.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at this smile. It's so innocent.
I'm like, that's not bad, you know? Yeah, I could do it. I could do it if I put my mind to it.
Like, swimming is not fun. it's I
Don't
mean
let
it
us
can be
pull you
yeah,
down.
but yeah, I mean
Support your
I would-
dreams.
I would also learn how to breaststroke really efficiently, because
Yeah.
that could be how you make it.
Yeah, or just
yeah.
like double arm backstroke for like a mile, just like looking up at the moon. Oh, that'd actually be
it
really
would
nice.
be really nice. You could see all the stars up there, and yeah, that'd be great. Amazing.
Yeah, as long as you don't just have to do freestyle, because then you're just looking at the darkness of the abyss.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah,
can like
true.
backstroke, one of the best
Do
feelings
anything.
is backstroking in like a light mid strength storm of rain and a pool,
Wow.
and it's like kind of cloudy or like sunset or sunrise.
Beautiful.
And like light precipitation, and you're swimming and the rain splashing on your face, and you're doing backstroke, and you're like looking at the colors. And, oh, it's
Wow.
such a good moment.
I mean, again, he makes it sound amazing. It's
Wow.
the night again, and he's as he's stroking the algae. That's what it is. The algae lights
Mm.
up, and so every stroke, it's just bright and nice. And so yeah, it seems awesome.
Wow, it's
Wow.
luminescent.
And of course, that boat has had his friends and family, or people close to him. So I'm pretty sure, hopefully, you guys could be there, and it'd be a really, really fun time. and then go to Catalina Island and party afterwards or something.
Dude, John, my literal 5-year goal is to not be in worse shape. And
I mean, I'm not in the best shape. I only recently got back into hiking, and I've been doing that a lot to get back into shape. But yeah, it's COVID was hard. COVID was rough with it being in shape for sure. But yeah,
I'm doing a 15K on Sunday, and
nice.
normally I'm like, sure, it's like 9.3 miles. And like
Is that a run?
normally it's like, oh, okay, like I could do like a mile every 8 minutes, and I think I should be able to do
Pretty
it
calm,
because
yeah.
you know I've done like half marathon before, I've done a marathon before, but I just like kind of stopped running for a while, and I ran yesterday a 10K, and it was like it was so painful, and I got like eight and a half minutes per mile, and I was just thinking like,
That's good.
oh
That's
man, should I be concerned about Sunday?
I mean, how
Uh,
do your legs feel right now?
right now I feel fine. I took it at an easy pace because I knew I'm gonna train every day, and then except for Saturday.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
for me, when I run just around my like neighborhood, my legs hurt pretty often, I feel like. So I don't know if it's just
Oh.
me running or something. So I'll run
Hmm.
a mile, let's say, but I guess kind of fastish. And then yeah, get back home, stretch, feel good, and then next day my legs often hurt. So I don't know if that's necessarily just, again, maybe my shoes, they are pretty old, or just not running right, or maybe I'm going too fast. I was on long distance.
You need to slow down.
Yeah, I wasn't long distance. I used to be a sprinter back in high school, so definitely wasn't my forte to go slow. But yeah, I'll look into that. But first, the swimming.
John, what are your other goals? How many wives?
How many wives? Oh man.
Well, as my dad says, 6. 'Cause you always need a day of rest on Sunday.
Always need that day of rest.
My dad once looked at my sister's boyfriend, and it was the first time he ever met Dad. And they were coming here. Julia was going to a friend Sarika's wedding as a bridesmaid or whatnot. And so Dad and Mom and Julian are driving in the car to the wedding. And Julian's in the front seat with Dad. And Dad just looks over deadpan out of nowhere and just goes, "So, Julian, would you rather have 6 wives or 7?" And Julian,
It's so funny.
Julian tells me the story a little bit later, and he's like, I don't know. I just, I didn't know what to say. I was so confused. And like, is this a trick question? Like, and he's like, just one, like, just one. And then Dad's like, oh, really? That's disappointing. I would say 6. Because on the 7th, you need a 7th day of rest on Sunday. I was like, Dad, you're a bad man. You bad boy.
Wow.
I love it.
There you have it.
We know
Yeah, so
we know where your dad's priorities are, Hugh.
Yeah, that would be so crazy to be asked that.
Right? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what I would say.
by your serious relationships father. Yeah, that's funny. I just think that's so funny. And Julia's not even in the car. It's
Oh,
just
man.
Julian. No, that's too funny. Makes my life just makes me so happy hearing that story. Thinking about it.
You gotta troll those. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like if and when I ever have kids, and a moment if that ever happens, I need to figure out if there's a question that could top that moment to just put them on their seat.
Exactly. My little sister, she just turned 21 recently, and so she's dating and wanted to introduce someone to our family for the first time, like me, myself, and my dad, just us 3. So it was a big deal. My dad was very against it. Yeah, I'd say he was kind of against it. He was like, I don't really want to meet the guy. I don't know about this. And then eventually we just did it and went out for dinner. And he's a nice guy, real cool, nice dude. He's finished his master's program, he's trying to be a lawyer. So he's about to go to, do all that stuff. But yeah, cool guy. And there was a moment where I was alone with him. I think my dad and sister went to the restroom or something. And yeah, I was like, hey, so hope
Six wives or
everything, I
seven.
forgot what I said. It was mainly just pretty much along the lines of like, hey, hope everything continues going well, you know, and if it doesn't, at the end of the day, I know where you live. And it was just such a nonchalant, like, bam, there you go. And he
You
was like,
said that?
I did
I
say
know
it.
where you
I
live.
did. And he was like, it was like, oh yeah, I know. By all means, everything will be fine. Or it was just so weird, but I was that like inner, like, hey, I gotta make sure,
What a
you
big bro.
know,
What a
yeah, I
good
gotta,
job.
yeah, it was very funny. The rest of the time I was like this. I was just laughing, being happy, talking about League of Legends and games in general. And then there's this one little instance where I was like, hey, I could say something here. To let him know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Julian, if you're listening, I know where you live. I've never said it to you, but now I've taken inspiration.
Yeah, it was funny. It was cool. Felt like a good older brother for a little bit. And yeah, it was cool. He's a nice guy. He really is. So there was no need for anything really, but he's a cool guy.
That's great. That's funny. Oh, I have a goal within the next 5 years. I would like to not work the whole time and probably like take a year off in another country.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have like a country in mind that your top one?
Oh, sorry about that. My clock sings every hour.
It sounds
So-
great. You can barely hear, but
so-
just nice background music.
Yeah, that sounds
So for
really
everyone,
nice.
everyone who's listening, it's now 5 o'clock, and yeah, it keeps going. But anyways, yeah.
Yo, your goals.
I know. I'm like, is he trying to get out of the goal?
So
Okay, that's awesome.
so my girlfriend and I have a fear that of us being like so like career oriented and just like kind of climbing up the ladder and like just aiming for these very like these goals where that the kind of goals that like other people tell you matter.
Yeah.
um and I don't think of myself as like a hugely ambitious person, but I can be when I need to. And so to counteract that, we're planning after like whenever it feels right, basically, to both quit our jobs and then hopefully have saved up enough to live somewhere else for a year. So right now we're thinking Japan. So like East Asia would be cool because um, her family's from China, my family's from Korea. We don't want to live in either of those countries, but then it would be cool to visit. And yeah, I mean, Japan is like safe. It has a different language, so we would do like
Yeah.
a month or two of like a language immersion camp, which would be super cool. And yeah, it's. I mean, I hope that it happens, but like either way, it's fun to think about it and plan for it, and hopefully when the time is right, we'll kind of like come up with a list of like different places and the pros and cons, and like obviously there's a big incentive to go somewhere where it's really cheap. So like Vietnam would be great, but also somewhere where we like want to learn the language and the culture.
It's
So
beautiful there.
yeah, just some stuff on my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, like we probably have to save up like this much for a year, and I don't know, we can both do it. And so yeah, that's like on the to-do list. So in 5 years, if I have not done that, I will be very disappointed.
Gotcha. That's such a great goal, and doing it with a significant other too. Like, it's a good way to really grow that relationship and have a goal at the end too. Not at the end, my bad. A goal that work towards together. Like that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Would you say recently I've been talking a lot about relationships? Have Would you say that you two push each other to accomplish your goals? Not just that, more like push each other to better yourselves, like together. I don't know how to say this.
Um, I guess
Does she
yeah.
push you pretty much?
I mean, I don't think we push. I think it's more like she also works in the tech world, but in a different job function. And there's a lot of times where it's like, hey, I'm about to like send this email to a VP. Can you just read over it? I'm like, sure.
Okay.
Or it's like, oh, I had this like really shitty meeting, and then I'll just like be there to listen. Or on my end, I'll be like, hey, is it rude not to send like a regards comma before they like I don't know. Like sometimes I'm just like, hey, blah blah blah, John. like why does everyone else do it? Is it rude not to? But like, yeah, I think that stuff in the work context, and then maybe it's kind of like a counteracting thing. So like for me, I have a relatively higher risk tolerance, and so like I'll do things that are generally unsafe, but then like, we call it, we risk it for the biscuit. Like there's a cool prize at the end. So like an example is we were driving from Portland to Bend, Oregon, and I forgot to get gas, and there was a giant, like it was like a 90 miles, and so we'd basically get to the destination, but then the car said we had like 92 miles.
Oh, real.
And
risky.
then I was like, I just started driving. I was like, I think we can do it. But it's like, this is like a 2009 Corolla. Like the Corolla doesn't know how many miles it has left. And we have it's like a pretty heavy car. So it was clearly a bad idea. But it would have been a cool outcome, which is we don't have to drive back 30 minutes. But yeah, she was the one that was like, nah, you should turn back. And I was like, all right, well, I would have driven if I was on my own, and then which potentially would have been really bad, but whatever. I'll let it. So I guess that's one way we're kind of like counterbalance. But yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like I want to be like more ambitious, or I don't feel like I want to like just make more money for the sake of making more money. And so yeah, and I don't feel like I would want to like push someone in that direction either. But it's different if someone has certain goals, or if like I have certain goals, and like maybe if I'm like doubting myself or whatever, then like maybe it helps to have that person. But
yeah, for sure, it definitely helps a lot to have that person there. And again, even just talking about goals sometimes, and being like, hey, I want to do these things, and just like you guys did, like, hey, we're going to take a year off or so, and just go to another country and just live there and have a great time. Like that's amazing. It's really how it grows the relationship. And in my mind, it's like, okay, cool, it's a good way to just grow the relationship more. That's awesome.
Didn't you say it was a non-negotiable in yours, John? Like you're like, I'm going, take it or leave it. Is this okay with you? Well,
Wait, what do
you're
you mean?
abroad. Didn't you? Is that something I remember right? You were like,
No.
I'm gonna move abroad for a year someday. Are you okay with that?
Oh, no, that's different. So when I was thinking about what is important to me in someone that I'm dating, it's like people have pretty similar criteria. It's like, I want this, this, and this. But that's like, I was thinking about like, what's really important to me that like might not be as important to someone else. And like one of the things I came up with was I want to live in a Spanish speaking country in my 40s with a wife and 2 kids.
Oh.
And I made sure to like mention it up front if I was like meeting someone, or if it was like kind of the beginning. And yeah, it was interesting because like not everyone wants that. Like it sounds kind of cool, but then there's all kinds of like trouble that you have to go through to make that happen, especially with 2 kids.
Yeah.
So
once kids get involved, things become harder for sure. You gotta worry about two more heads, 2 more people.
Yeah. And so that was like a filter for me. I was like, I want someone who's like actually pretty free spirited and like wants to do these kinds of cool things. And like she doesn't have to want exactly that, but I want her to have ideas and be like, hey, like Norway is great this time of year. And I'd be like, great. like,
Let's
like,
go.
yeah. And so that's my test, I guess. But then, yeah, in her case, she was like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, but that's like more than a decade from now. It's like, how about this thing in 3 years? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Dad has some stories where, and he's in his 20s. He's just like, yeah, I just decided one day when I've had this, because in school they would get like 2 months off, and just for summer, autumn. And so he's like, yeah, I just took a bike trip down to France, across, and went through Europe, and then bike back. And then I made it back in time, and then I hitchhiked with a few people, and like, oh, right on. Or like, yeah, I just took a bus and got some kids, some students, and we went over to, Rome, and then went through all of these other places, and then we went back. Like, oh, cool. I mean, Denver's cool, but you don't really get to do that it's not, it doesn't feel the same. Like, even though I would be very down, like, cross country around the States, because all of our national parks and all of the stuff. I want to get barbecue in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Ooh, I really do. Like, I really do.
Good.
But anyways, I just feel like Europe would be such a cool place to live, and just live for X amount of time.
Well, Hugh, you're the one.
Too.
You're the one with dual citizenship, so
That's true. That's true.
Brexit, though.
Ooh, Brexit problems.
Yeah, Scotland might be wanting to leave the UK.
Ooh.
All right. Anyways, let's not even open this rabbit hole. But that's amazing.
You're the only one who hasn't shared a goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is actually, I don't have the 5-year goal. I don't know when. Nothing.
You should make one up.
I don't know.
We'll wait. It's cool.
We'll wait.
Like 5 years, I would be what? I'm 27, 32.
32. Yeah, I mean, okay. I also put one other goal I had that I didn't accomplish was not to live in Arizona was my goal, and I still live in Arizona. So
ooh, you stuck.
Yeah. So even just having like
if you do move, just think about our friendship and unfriended.
Yeah, no, for
wow.
No, I like Arizona a lot. At the time, I was just like, I'm gonna get out of here. Seattle's amazing. Plus, I'd been there a couple of times already, so I was like, this is so much better than Arizona in my mind. Better weather, better, I don't know, food at the time, and tons of great stuff that I appreciated more. But now living here for so long and having houses and a really tight group of friends, I've really grown to appreciate Arizona a lot more. So
you should still move. Try it.
It's okay. Try it out. Yeah.
I don't like it here anyway.
I did. I did a little bit. I tried going to Portland for a little while there.
I know, right?
So that was a very interesting time.
Yeah. Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Jon even is a big foodie. They've been really cool food stuff. But I don't know if we can actually digress into such a tangent. I'm just, in the matter and respect of time, I think it's been a fantastic episode. And I am going to ask Jon the final question. Jon, wait, what is the question we asked Jon? Kim? Oh, what's up, Jon? What do you want to say?
The question is your final goal. You have to have a
goal.
No,
shoot. No. Sorry, there's not enough time. We'll talk about, I really don't know.
He's already accomplished all his goals.
Make a cool company. All right, one day have a cool company or something. I don't know, something like that.
I think we ask what. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, that's it. I know what we're going to ask, but you do it well.
Oh, Jon, what are your words of wisdom that you want to impart to our listeners, or any parting thoughts?
Live your life how you want to live it.
Ooh. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. That's fantastic. There's also a side little thing that I'm going to advertise on behalf of Jon. I know that he wouldn't advertise it. He's only 5 episodes in, and they kind of paused their creation of this creative endeavor. But even before we started the Moon Tea, Jon and Nick started a YouTube channel called Seriously Cereals, if I remember correctly.
we
and
did.
they stopped after 5, but it was delightful. And what was the premise of it, John?
Just reviewing cereals. That was it, and we loved it, and it was
That's
very fun.
awesome.
We stopped 1 week. I think it was fully on me. I didn't feel like doing it 1 week, and then we just said we just haven't done it since. And so you know what? Well, it's gonna make a resurgence. We're gonna come back.
I look
this
forward
weekend.
to
I'll put down the link on
episode
there.
6 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Link in the description. We'll link it down below.
Yes, we'll link it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this. This is awesome. This is such a great time. Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Dude,
Yeah, that was tons of fun.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
I was like, John's like, what is this? What are we gonna talk about? I was like, anything. It's like an hour or so. I was like, yeah. He's like, and I'm like, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Worked
Yeah.
out great.
But yeah, so everybody, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Moon Tea Podcast. Thank you so much, Senor John, for tuning in and being one of our first listeners, commenters, and subscribers. Mr. Kim, it's been a pleasure, always is. Here, we are at the end of another episode where we talk about craft, community, and building meaningful careers. Please tune in next week. Like, subscribe, and give us a comment below. See ya.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Peace.